Is the truth. That's right. All right. How many of you got to do experiments? And it was the evidence room, experiment lab, something like that. Was that fun? How many of you got the paperclip to float? That was really hard, wasn't it? Yes, it wasn't hard. You got it. Well, good. I'm glad you got it. The little one works. And let's see, we're missing one room. What was the last room we were supposed to go to? One of the other. The story. Oh, it's time.
Case file J19-23 VBS 2023. Name Chief Scott A. Doyle. Date Monday, June 19th, 1939. We've spent months training, scoring the books, pushing pencils, and running scenarios. Today, our rookie inspectors hit the streets. They will hone in on their newly acquired skills in the real world of London, right under the shadow of Big Ben. Our original class of 7 has thinned to 4. 4 of the best rookies I've seen yet. My expectation is high, but I also have experience. Experience says, when you've prepared for every contingency, brace yourself. You're in for a surprise. And today is no exception.
Sure. Excuse me, not on my purse. Thank you. Lovely day, isn't it?
Yes, it is a lovely day.
I'm just reading my book.
What you reading?
Love stories.
Oh, I love. I have a book of celebrities.
You know, I was a celebrity once myself.
You don't say.
Yes, I was a homecoming queen too.
I was almost homecoming queen. I mean, I didn't get it, but I almost got it. I almost was valedictorian also. I got salutatorian instead.
You tell.
But I was really close to getting it.
Well, I got it.
Well, I got that bike over there. Do you see it? That bike is vintage. It was my mother's when she was little.
Very nice cycle.
It is. When I first got the bike, I could barely touch the ground, and now, well, I've quite outgrown it, but it's what I've got, and it's nice. I like to set trends, you know, and that vintage bike is making a comeback. I have seen so many others with bikes since I've been riding that one.
Wow. Yes. You know, I have a pet bird at home. Yeah. I think I could put it in that basket.
the basket's not big, but I mean, it's enough for my shoes. I can't ride my bike in these shoes, and my book of celebrities.
Oh, yes. Well, I work at the library, volunteer. So anytime that you want to come over, we can be best friends.
Really? Well, I applied for the coffee shop, but I didn't get it. But that's okay. I'm used to coming in second place. I'm a middle child. I should have said that. I'm a second born. My sister, she really just, well, she's my parents' favorite child. And that's okay because it's fine. I work at a second-hand store, though, instead. This, you never would have guessed it, but it's second-hand. And, oh, I love your pearls.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, mine are just plastic, but they're nice, though. They're nice.
Okay, good.
Oh, isn't he dreamy? But, he kind of reminds me of a boy I went to school with. Oh, such wisdom in his eyes. I love a full head of hair.
And if you follow your heart, you'll find the right man.
Oh, I will find the right man. Oh, how darling. But he kind of reminds me of my father.
I am an expert at love. Because I read...
You don't say, I love a man in uniform.
I read these romance novels.
Love a man in uniform.
Oh, yes, he's very, very, very dapper.
Yes, he is. A moustache. I love a moustache.
Those eyes.
Those eyes, they tell a story.
They do.
A cowboy. I always wondered what it'd be like to be a cowboy. You don't see many cowboys in England. I love a cowboy. Mm-hmm. But this one. What do you think about him?
I'm thinking that he's the one.
Oh, so suave.
So dreamy.
So dreamy. No, I'll take him.
Dreamy.
Yes, I've got to have him. He is a looker. We can just throw the rest of these out because I think this one right here. I've got. Put these in there too because I don't need them. You can have them because I like him.
He's the one.
He just looks so dapper,
Yes.
suave.
Well, you need to follow your heart.
My heart.
Your heart will not steer you wrong.
You're right. It will not. And my heart says it wants this one.
I think that's the one.
I think so. I like your shoes,
You like my shoes?
Yeah, I love your shoes. I love red. Would you like to go to the cafe?
I would love to. We could talk about girly things.
Oh, let's go. I'll just leave my bike here. No, I'll walk it. I'll walk it over to the cafe.
Well, if you're going to peruse the merchandise, you might as well purchase a book. Dog-earing my pages, scuffing up my covers. I can't help it if I'm reduced to selling books from my garage out here on the streets. My distributor fell through on me. Would you like to buy one? I wrote it myself.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. I'm a little bit edgy. Sorry.
Has there ever been a time when you wanted an answer so bad, but you wondered if there was one out there? It's just that I've grown up my whole life in church. My parents grew up in church, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, And it seems like whenever I go, I have perfect attendance, I answer all the questions right. It seems like I know everything. But then I made some new friends lately.
You lost me back there at the church part.
Yeah, but whenever I started getting some new friends, I found out that, they have all these new ideas. Like that God didn't really create the world, and that, we all came from monkeys. And then they tell me things that sound really, really good. And they make me want to believe that you can believe in yourself, and that it's just, all of these things are so popular. Everybody tells me them. I just don't know what to think anymore.
Well, I could tell you, for starters, your friends aren't off. You see, when I was traveling with the BBC film crew I was a modest position of consultant on anthropology and ecology back after I graduated from university, they explained, and we saw firsthand, that these antiquated ideas and notions of God creating everything are really binding society. And that's the problem you're experiencing there. You've been around the church all your life. That's all you've ever known. I'm sorry for you. But honestly, if you didn't have that, why, well, for instance, on one of my trips there in the New Guinean bush, I was just noticing how well off the natives we were filming were doing, because they didn't have all of these pressures and laws of society that we face every day from people who have read the Bible.
But you see, that's just the problem. I go and ask for all these questions, and I ask my parents, and I ask everybody that I've grown up with that has taught me all these things, and it seems like, why do Christians not have any answers?
Because
I get answers from you, I get answers from my friends, but I can't get answers from those who know the Bible and can tell me about God.
Well, having never been around very many Christians myself, I don't know why they don't have answers, except maybe they don't know them. Maybe there aren't answers for their questions. Take my book here, for instance. If you'd like a copy, it's only $19.95. And it's on ancient man. It explains the origins of humanity and society as we know it today. And if we had taken a different turn back a few hundred years ago, I think our society would have been a lot better off.
Well,
I would encourage you to read that and leave the poppycock of church somewhere else.
well, that is 2 weeks' wages, but I'd give anything to know the truth. So
The truth
I'll
is
read
what
it.
you need.
I'll read it. Here. Thank you.
Thank you. A sale. Finally.
Hello, sir.
Sorry,
I'm sorry
ma'am.
that I
Startled me.
startled you. I couldn't help but notice that you seem to be carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Whatever could be bad enough that you feel so down?
Ma'am, the name's Harold.
Nice to meet you, Belva.
I moved over here some 8 years ago from a cattle farm in Kentucky. It seems these folks over here just don't get it that I can't pick up on the London accent. I got hired on as a dockhand some 8 years ago as a crate carrier.
Very nice.
They blew it up to be such a great job whenever they hired me, and since then now I have a wife and 4 small children at home depending on my income,
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
which is very little, I might add. It's hard enough for a boy to get an attaboy around here from this place, let alone a pay raise. I'll have you know I have worked here for 8 years.
8 years.
They
You
hired
don't say.
no recognition. They hired a new manager, and would you believe what they want me to do as my first task?
What, sir?
They
Tell
want me to lie about the number of these crates that I am transporting for their company. Now, I will have you know that I am a man of strong Christian faith. I've been praying diligently for the Lord to bless my family with the financial needs that we need to get on our feet. We've struggled with bills, and it's hard to make ends meet around here.
I do
My new
understand.
boss told me if I would lie about the number of crates that I'm transporting, that I would be rewarded with a great financial blessing. I'm so torn, ma'am, I just don't know what to do. How could the Lord bring me to something like this? I have no idea which way to turn, but I feel as though I should keep the Christian faith.
Dear Harold, just don't stress about it. Just don't stress about it. I mean, it seems wrong in this situation, but if you go down the road, I mean, it may just be how it is. And, I mean, you have to keep your job. You said you had a wife and 4 children, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
How would you support them without the job?
That is true. I don't know which way to turn, but Fruit Loops to you, madam. Cheerios or Frosted Flakes or what is it you people say around here for have a nice day?
You're such a nice young man.
Thank you, madam. You enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yes. Remember, no stress.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Oh, this job, it really should pay
Professor
better, I tell you.
Sigmund, it's so nice to see you. How
Here
are
we
you
go.
today?
Well, I declare it's very nice to see you today, Miss Betty. How are you?
I'm just fine. How is the family?
Oh, doing wonderful.
That is
Doing wonderful.
wonderful.
Well, who's this young man tumbling in here?
My name is Richard Ricardo.
Well, my young friend, if I come tumbling in here like you have, I'd done ripped my trousers right in two.
Well, my trousers have been ripped a couple of times, but and who might you be, sir?
The name's Professor Sigmund.
Good to make your acquaintance, sir. Good to make your acquaintance.
Very nice to meet you, too.
Yes. So, what brings you to this part of the world? You're obviously not from around here.
Well, sir, I'm born and raised right down the street here in London.
Certainly not from around here. Your
Well,
accent is deplorable.
I get that quite often, sir. I got most of my studies from the Cambridge University's satellite campus over in Savannah, Georgia. Rather picked up the accent.
I noticed.
Oh. Well, what brings you out here today?
Well, actually, I was just gazing at Big Ben, admiring such a fine piece of architecture.
Oh, well, yeah, I do declare it is a fine piece.
Yes. So, anyway, what about your family?
Well, I grew up here in London, right down on the street, and grew up rather well off. You had a...
I seem to come from a distinguished family myself.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
I see. Why don't you tell me a little bit? Why don't we have a seat and you just tell me a little bit more about it, sir? You can have a seat.
I prefer to stand.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and sit in my old age.
Oh, do have a seat. Well, so you still have family here local?
Let's just hear a little more about you.
You know, the Ricardos were well known in this territory. Yes. Mostly me, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got some ambitions in my life. I've decided that I have set out and I've made it my foremost goal to make a mark in this world.
What kind of mark you planning to make?
Well, not sure yet, but working on it. But I love adventure.
I can quite tell.
Yes, well, you know, one time, when I was but 5 years old, I jumped from the roof with an umbrella.
Did you fly?
To the ground, yes.
What was the result of that fall?
Broken leg. But while I was still in a wheelchair, I tied the English Mastiff to my wheelchair. And it was quite funny. We went around the yard, just shoo, shoo, shoo. It's grand fun.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, my parents...
Sounds like something I would have done in my younger days with my older brother.
Would you?
In my younger days.
Did your parents put up a privacy fence for the protection of your neighbors too?
Well, no, sir. What were your parents protecting them from?
Did you ever perhaps jump from the London Bridge with a parachute?
Why,
I did that one.
young man, was that you I saw dangling from the bridge that day?
Yes, it caught on the trestle, but
What happened? I had to go on to my studies.
I spent the night in jail.
They put you in jail for that?
Scotland Yard doesn't think too kindly on such acts of bravery.
Well, I think they ought to just stay out of your way and
That's
let you
exactly
do as
what
you
I
please.
thought. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Yes, but they didn't.
Well,
I spent a night in jail.
so you've got plans for anything else?
Oh, most certainly, I've got plans.
Well, let me give you some advice.
I would be
then
most...
after hearing about, just come on down here. If anyone says that you can't achieve these ambitions and these goals, ignore them. If you believe in yourself and you believe in what you want to do, you can do it.
I do believe in myself. I
Well-
think I will take your advice, good sir.
Well, good
It's
sir.
very good to make your acquaintance. It's very good to make your acquaintance.
Yes, sir, you too.
And the name?
Professor Sigmund.
Then I will...
Professor Sigmund.
I will keep that in mind, and I hope we see more of each other,
Oh,
Professor.
absolutely. I hope to run into you again.
I hope
Maybe.
so as well.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good day, sir.
The first day of observation passed. I've scheduled a debriefing with the rookies tomorrow.
All right, who can't wait to find out what's going to happen tomorrow? What is going on? Okay, don't forget, tomorrow your contest is what? Hats. What kind of hat? A jungle hat. Oh, best detective theme hat. That's right. Okay, and we're going to ask someone to pray. Please come back tomorrow. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and we'll have fun tomorrow again. And remember, who is the source of all truth? Jesus Christ is the source of all truth. That is right. Brother Bill, would you dismiss us in prayer?
Just before Brother Bill does that, if you have said your memory verse to your team leader, you can come up